Do you struggle with finding your tribe or finding friends? Do you find it hard to make friends? I know that I definitely struggle with this more in my adult life than I ever did when I was in college. So, I wanted to make a video about that. I think it's really important to lay out why it's harder to make friends as we get older and look back maybe at some of the ways we used to make friends and see how we can apply it to our lives now. And yeah, so let's get into the video. Hi, my name's Sarah. I own and run a life coaching business called Sara Dalton Coaching. And I've struggled with making friends in the past and still do to this day. So this is gonna be a good video. It's gonna be a good video topic for us to explore today. So let's get into the video. Now the title of the video is going to be called Finding a Niche. And I want to talk about that, and I'm gonna probably announce something later in this video related to this YouTube channel and the direction that I want to take it. So we're going to talk about finding your niche in life and relate that to like finding friends and finding your tribe because it's all related. And then we're going to talk about a niche within a niche, and then I'm going to talk about how that is going to affect the future of this YouTube channel and the direction that I take it in. The best advice that I ever got was when I went to college. My parents told me, find your niche. I went to Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, and I graduated in 2003. And the school, the size of like the number of kids at the school at the time, I think it was like 36,000 people. And I was looking at being one in 36,000 or whatever the math is. So that's a big sea of people, especially for an only child and a very shy child raised in a very sheltered environment. And my parents knew that I probably wouldn't do well unless I found, and they actually told me, they used the specific word, find your niche. That was the specific word that they used. Niche. Find your niche. Find a place where you fit in. Find your tribe. And I went back to this. I have a picture on the wall behind me of my niche. I wound up in the Indiana Daily Student. Me and my ballroom dance partner, and ballroom dancing was my niche. But there's more, because they were so right. Like, my parents were so right about that. Find your niche so that you don't get lost in a sea of people. But there's one more aspect to it than that. There's finding your niche, and then there's, because you will find your friends in your niche, because like your area of interest is what I say when I mean niche. My area of interest for surviving at school was ballroom dancing. It's where I met my dance partner at the time. I made so many friends through the ballroom dance club and the IU Ballroom Dance Club and the competition team. It's how I made it through college, honestly, as an introvert. Just finding, not an introvert, as a shy, quiet person, finding friends. That's how I found them, and it was really important for me. So now, I've been trying to figure this out, like I said, with my channels. Like, how do I take them? How do I narrow it down? And I had a conversation with somebody this week, and the person told me, think about it more like finding your niche within your niche. So for that, if I apply that to college, my niche was ballroom dancing, or maybe it's backwards. My niche was, no, yeah. My niche was ballroom dancing. The niche within the niche, meaning the audience that it was applicable to, was college kids. So if you think about that, you're already in a place that has younger people mostly, on a big campus like that are around your age, 18 to 26, like somewhere in that. So college kids is a niche, and then finding the niche within the niche is the ballroom dancing on the ballroom dance club and competition team for me on a college campus. And that's where I made my friends. I had a targeted age group, people that had things, in common. We were about the same age. And then the niche within the niche was the common activity that small club, because it was a pretty small club of kids, shared. We all shared that one area, and that's really what led to me being successful socially in school. Like, I struggled my freshman year because I was really close to my mom a lot growing up and was really attached to her. So finding something else to kind of replace that friendship that I had, because she wasn't around when I was in college. I mean, like, she was like 3 hours away. So yeah, we talked every day, but like I cried pretty much like the first semester my freshman year. Even though I'd found my niche, it took me time to adjust into it, but ultimately it led to my success at school. So I think when we get older and we get out of, say, you go to college and you graduate and then you get into the real world, real life, it's hard to find a niche. Or even if you didn't go to college, even if you just, like, you graduated from high school, it's hard, and you enter the real world, it's hard to find people because you have another niche there. Let's say you were like on the swim team, so you're in high school, you're with people that are your age, and that's your niche, one niche, and the niche within the niche is the swim team. So you've got like friends within a common audience. So um when I graduated college, I moved back to this area, to the area I live in now. I keep saying this and I make it sound like I live at home, and I don't. I am married and I don't live with my parents, but I think it comes out like that the way I describe it. So um, I met my husband pretty much right out of college. Like, I'd only been home for about a year and a half, and I struggled, like, um, having a job in the real world was hard for me because it was a big adjustment from being in school. And ironically, the niche within the niche idea came back again because I wound up um, doing kind of two jobs at once. I had a full time job as a real estate title searcher and then examiner for Chicago Title Insurance Company. And I did that full time. And then I taught ballroom dance part time on the side. So I'd been teaching, I taught in college, and then um, went went professionally with it when I got out of college. But I found another niche within a niche there because I was out in the real world, one niche, and then the niche within the niche was ballroom dancing again. It showed up again, and that's where I made a lot of friends out of school, which was really helpful because things weren't going well at home. And having that group of friends really helped because all my friends were at school. I'd made friends at college, and none of them lived where I was now living when I was living with my parents. So finding the niche within the niche, because I didn't really fit in at work, I don't really fit in anywhere in life, it feels like sometimes, but finding the niche within the niche, the ballroom dancing, gave me friends. I became friends with the people that I taught with, and those friendships lasted for a while, for several years out of college, which was really helpful. So there's a hurtful part to it, and I won't get into that today. But yeah, it's how I found friends in a new area, a niche within a niche, ballroom dancing in the real world. And the targeted audience there was an older niche. It wasn't um, usually ballroom dance studios. They tend to attract customers that are clients that are more like mm, 45 and up. So empty nesters usually that have extra money to spend because their kids are raised, and they're out of the house. So, and those people are that age group is fun to be around. They really are. And being friends with the teachers and learning from them, like, that was just really cool. I made some really good friends that way. And it's how I met my husband, my then boyfriend, now husband. God, 17, almost 18 years we've been together, I think now. Um, yeah, so a niche within a niche was where I even found, the one. So when I got out of dancing, um, and we talked a little bit about this in last week's video, is the way you do one thing, the way you do everything. I'll link to that, and the answer was yes, in case I forgot to answer it. I think I did answer it though, yeah. It was pretty much the theme throughout the whole video, but after I left the dance world, I really struggled because I was working full time, doing title examining pretty much the whole way through. And I didn't really fit in with the people. I've never really fit in an office environment, and I've never really gotten along with anybody in the office. I don't like the office. And then um, when I started working from home, then that isolated me even further. So I lost a lot of my friends when I chose to leave teaching. And I also, I didn't have any friends in real life. Things were a little bit chaotic with my relationship with my mother. I know I mentioned her earlier. She was like my best friend in high school, and then we had kind of a bad falling out, and we didn't talk for several years. And she was like my best friend for such a long time, so that was really hard grieving that loss. And I had my husband, but that was really it, because all my friends, like, they all had that one common activity, that whole niche within the niche. So it's taken me a long time to find my next niche within a niche. And one place that shows up for me is the plants. And I showed you my collection last week, and plants is a pretty broad topic. And this is going to start to tie into YouTube and the direction I want to take my two channels in. I've been struggling with having two separate channels. I've got the Rare Plant House for my plant nursery business, and then I've got the life coaching. And the plant channel, I think I'm still going to keep as a separate channel. Like, I'm still going to do two channels, even though I really would like to combine them into one. But I'm going to combine this channel into a niche within a niche, so I can narrow down my audience a little bit more. So I'm actually going to be I'm going to be talking more about plants and how the lessons I've learned from plants to the life people that are interested in personal development lessons, because I really believe you can learn a lot from plants. You can have a niche within a niche, and I'm actually going to show you what that looks like in one example of it in the plant world. A niche within a niche. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can actually see. I'm going to take you over and show you my niche within a niche example. So let me stop the camera and get you turned around. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is a niche within a niche. This is my terrarium. So it's cool because there's plants, right? But then there's this whole other aspect, and we won't spend a lot of time looking at this because it's kind of foggy, but there's this whole other aspect of plants applied to a specific area. So yeah, so this is an orchidarium that I made, but there's a lot of elements that went into this. There's choosing the plants, and it's cool because it's plants. Let me zoom out. Plants within a niche within a niche, right? Plants inside a terrarium design. So there's like art, there's just so many different, how do you set up the terrarium? It's just so cool. And after I started growing plants the first year, I just focused on plant care, but then I got into this whole other aspect of it, this more design aspect, and this decorative piece I made for my home because I picked out all of the pieces. I had already learned about the orchids, and figured out, I learned how to build a whole orchidarium, and it's a whole other way of growing plants. This really is its own niche within a niche. It's terrariums, aquariums, that area, and what you're looking at is a 29-gallon aquarium tank with a custom cut glass lid and elements that you could put in a terrarium or an aquarium, like this this T-Rex skull, and just the different decorative elements that I've got in there. And I whole idea of a niche within a niche in the plant world, plants, and then orchids in a isolated container. It's cool. It's plants are what got me through COVID, and I haven't really made any friends in the plant world, but that's why I think I launched the YouTube channel, both YouTube channels, was to connect with people and to find a community of people to talk to. Oh, hold on one second. That's funny. The lights are on timers, like our terrariums, and then all the grow shelves are on timers, and they go off at like 4 o'clock. So, like right on the dot, like everything starts to go off. So, and I wanted to film this video before we lose the light outside. So, yeah. So finding a niche within a niche in real life looks like, how do you find friends in the real world? Once you've left that super supportive college or high school life, how do you thrive in the adult world? And one way is to find friends, at work, a niche within a niche, people that you probably have things in common with. Hopefully you're not like me, and maybe you do have friends at work. Another place would be church, or some kind of common activity that you like to do. If you can figure that out, it could be, art classes, it could be working out. Maybe you meet people at a workout class and you guys go out for a drink afterwards. So I haven't really found my niche within a niche yet, but that's really what I'm hoping with this YouTube channel. So I'm like pretty isolated right now. I haven't really made any new friends, and COVID just seemed to make things, it was very isolating, and getting into plants was really what got me through COVID in a huge way. And it's gotten me through, even though lifting heavy bottles of water has not helped my back, it's also gotten me through, it gives me something else to focus on when my back is in a lot of pain. So, yeah. But what I'm hoping to do is I really want to build a community, make new connections, make new friends, because I'm really tired of being alone. Even though I'm like super introverted, I would like to have a friend or two, and I don't find it in my family, on either side, because I don't get along with my in-laws, and I want to stay out of their dramatic lives, and things with my parents have been very, very up and down. So I don't really have them. And since I left ballroom dancing, I haven't. I had one friend, no, two friends, and they just faded away. The connection just got lost over time. And I try lots of different things. I love to try things, and I'm fine with going places alone by myself. I don't struggle with that, but sometimes it would be nice to have somebody else to talk to, just a friend that, hold on one second, that was like me. And I think I struggle because one is I don't have children, and I noticed that that is a big niche within a niche for people in my age group. Like, I'm 40, so once you come out of college and you get in the real world, you start working, and then you get married, and then people start having kids. It's like you never see them again. And I've made the choice not to have children because I don't want to deal with having to raise another human being. But it makes it hard to find other friends in real life. So I've been lucky enough this year to leave my crappy corporate job and start these two businesses, which is so exciting, but I still feel like kind of alone and isolated. So what I'm going to do with this YouTube channel is apply the lesson that we're talking about today, finding a niche within a niche. And because the workload has been a lot, but I think I'm still going to keep the two channels separate. I'm going to keep the plant channel separate for more like true like plant geeking out, how to care for things, tutorials, things that I don't really think would be appropriate on this channel. But for this channel, I want to talk about plants and plant lessons that I've learned and how they can apply to real life. Just what the lessons that plants have brought to my life, because I think it'll make this channel and this audience just maybe a little bit more focused, and then my videos won't be so long and rambly. They'll be more focused on a particular topic with a particular lesson. So like this channel is just, this is what, like my 5th video that I'm filming, and it's just in its infancy. And so it's so exciting to just have that opportunity to be able to pivot. So struggling with finding my niche within my niche, I'm hoping that, or struggling with finding friends in real life, I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that, make some new connections through my businesses and with you guys, and friendships, new clients, people to buy plants, all of that. I really think that this is all related and could really be like a thing. It's not just life coaching, it's not just plants. I think the lessons that you can learn from plants, how they're resilient, how it takes consistency to show up, can be, I can use that as an example to apply it to lessons that I still want to get out on personal development for my life coaching business on this channel. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. Let me know if you have any comments, any feedback, if you like the direction that I'm planning to take the channel in. So it's still, the channel will still be here. It's just going to be, and it's not going to be plant tutorials. It'll be like plants and the lessons I've learned from them. Because I definitely think there's value there, and there's a good lesson there. And plants are therapeutic and relaxing, and I think there's so much that we can explore there. So again, that's where I'm going to leave it. My name's Sarah. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, you can email me at sarah@saradaltoncoaching.com. Yeah. And if you like this video, give it a like and just leave me some feedback in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, that's it for this week's video. Bye. Have a good week. Bye.